Well, Mr. Newgarden, welcome, and we appreciate you taking a little time to spend with us after your back-to-back victories. Had to be kind of special to you.
That's very special. A lot of people are asking why it's so difficult to go back to back in this series, and I think it's just the level and the caliber of drivers and teams. Everyone is performing at such a high level that it's very difficult to get a consistent edge on the field. And I feel like we've come out of the gates really strong here with Team Penske, and it's given us the ability to do that. We've had good cars at each track we've gone to, and good team execution, which is what we expect to have at Team Penske. And yeah, it was thrilling, just to be able to finally to win a race at Long Beach, which I've been trying to do for 11 years now. I've been close, been second 3 times there. So to finally, seal the deal on one was very gratifying.
You talk about the closeness of competition, and yet there was a moment that you shared with the TV viewers in your post-race victory lane comments about an encounter that you had before the race with a journalist that had already, like a lot, let's be honest, a lot of the paddock area, had ceded the event to Colton Herta. Share with us a little bit about that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, so I was in the press conference after qualifying, and we had basically done all the interviews for it, both myself and Colton and Alex, and I was walking out, and a reporter like came up to me, like came running after me and got to me as I got to the stairs, and he just leaned in really quick, and he goes, "Hey, Joseph, one question, like, at what point tomorrow does Colton Herta check out?" And I just thought it was such a brazen question. Like who just assumes that? You can't assume that. And he said it with such authority that it like kind of caught me off guard. But I just told him, hey, it was my job to not let him do that. But I'm not one to use things like that as motivation. But I thought about it the night before, and I'm like, you know what? Just the way that he had stated the comment, there's no way we're going to allow him to do that tomorrow in the race. So we worked really hard, to not let him get away. And it wasn't just myself. I thought Alex Pillow did an amazing job. I thought he was very quick and very deserving himself. So, we all pulled in to try and, win the race. And Colton is a fierce competitor, and obviously, he's very capable of winning it too. But in this series, it's very hard to declare something like that. You just don't know how these races are going to turn out these days.
You I guess the kindest way I can put it is Team Penske and you did not have the best of seasons 1 year ago. And all of a sudden, straight off the trailer, right after media days, Team Penske is back to being the juggernaut that we all, year in and year out, expect. Without giving away any trade secrets, Joseph, what was the difference? What happened in the offseason?
Well, I think what people are seeing is probably a resurgence in the team across the board. Because if I look at ourselves last year, I thought we were very much championship contenders. We're one race away from winning the championship. If Road America, just to give people context, if Road America doesn't happen for us, we win the championship. I mean, it's as simple as that. And that context is to say that the two car was really quick, and I was really proud of our performance, and I felt like that was there, right from the beginning of the year when everyone was kind of dogging on the team. And I think what they were picking up on more so was that across the board as a team, we weren't the strength that people expected to see. They expected to see all the Penske cars fast. And so that was a big emphasis this offseason was, how do we elevate the whole group? How do we get everybody in the conversation, and a force again? And I feel like that has been the difference maker so far is we've made some changes, we've elevated every car, and you're seeing that, to start this year, all three of our cars have been incredibly successful and very fast and contributing. And that has definitely made a difference. I think whenever we're in that type of form is when we can be most competitive as an organization. So we're very pleased that, that's sort of transpired. We've been, to purposely targeting to try and make that happen. And I feel like we've made some good progress with it so far.
Away from the track, how's the baby watch going?
Baby watch, it's alive and well. We are expecting at some point. So, it'll happen when it happens, but we're here and waiting.
Well, you realize that anybody that is a parent will share stories all the time about how the bag for the hospital is packed and it's over in the corner, and constant watch on making sure you've got a full tank of gas. So what is the routine that the Newgarden family has employed as you sit there ready and waiting for the big event?
Well, I mean, we've been preparing for this thing for like 6 months. So I don't, much like our race team, I don't know how we can be more ready. It's we're ready to be ready. We've got everything packed, and it's just, for me, it like just feels kind of odd. I feel like we should be doing more. And, everyone that we talk to is, you just kind of show up when it's time. So that's the funniest part about it to me, is everyone's so nonchalant about it. And yeah, we're in that zone where, when it happens, it happens.
Pole run on the way to the hospital? You anticipate that? Is it 10 tenths, or is it more like you know a leak down check,
See,
a
that's
little slower?
that's the other thing. Like I'm telling you, like everyone that talks to us just says, like, don't rush to the hospital. They're like, take your time. Don't even, wait a little bit, because if you're not ready when you get there, they'll turn you away. So I don't know. This is very different than what I grew up anticipating watching movies, and I think it's pretty chill. Like unless it's not, maybe it won't be chill for us, but I think it could be pretty chill.
Let me switch gears for a second, because I've had this conversation with others. Um, you've got Barber, then the Indianapolis road course, and then, of course, the granddaddy of them all, the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500. But in between Barber and the road course event at Indy, you've got a very important 2 day test in prep for the Indianapolis 500. I'm not dismissing, the importance of Barber or the Indy Grand Prix, but that test, does that carry with it just as much pressure as going into a points paying event like in Alabama or like in Indianapolis?
Well, I think it's a test you want to capitalize on, right? It's an opportunity for all of us to get ahead of our month of May program. And so we want to utilize that to the best of our ability. I understand it's going to be televised, which is great. I think it's an important test for everybody. So it will be entertaining to watch, to see how people approach it. But yeah, for us, we're planning on maximizing it as much as we can. I think it is, whenever you get an opportunity to run it in Indianapolis for a couple of days, especially right before, the month of May, it can really give you a head start on where you're at and what you're doing. So we're prioritizing it. It's very, very important. But obviously, Barber and the GP are also important. So we've got to try and divvy our time up and make sure that we're accounting for all of it. But the test is definitely, I'm not going to say critical, but it's for us, we're putting very high importance on it.
Look, you and I have had this discussion before. The Indianapolis 500 has been elusive. And yet you have always said that you're not going to allow the fact that you haven't sipped from the bottle of milk in victory lane to define who Josef Newgarden or his career is. But come on, let's be honest. You checked the box at the Long Beach Grand Prix. How desperately do you want to check the next box? And that's at the corner of 16th and Georgetown Road in Indianapolis.
Well, I would love it. I mean, I would love nothing more. I just can't, I can't do more than what I'm doing. And I know that that's very important to understand that, you can only focus on what's in your control, and you can put your best effort forward. And, I know wholeheartedly I've done that, and I'll continue to do it. It's not going to change for me. So I'm going to approach it the same way, and give it everything I've got. And, my hope is that one day that's enough, and that, the tides will turn favorably for us. So we've just got to, wait and see. But absolutely. I mean, it's number one on the list for me.
Is that attitude something that's come with age, with family, with the fact that, you're a veteran now? Or has that always been the way you've looked at the Indianapolis 500?
Yeah, it's kind of how I've always looked at it. Maybe not my rookie year. I think, I probably wasn't in that frame of mind. And, when I was 21 years old, but, certainly for the last, for the foreseeable years, 5, 6 years back, I've approached it the same way. So for the majority of my career, I've had sort of the same thought process towards that race. And it's really, it's not that much different than the way I approach any event, to be quite honest. It's my philosophy that they're all, one and the same mentality wise. They should be. I think that gives you the best opportunity to succeed. And there's a lot of things that influence these outcomes. It's impossible to go through every scenario and thing that has to go right. But when you focus on what's in your control and what's in front of you, and you're putting in the maximum effort that you have possible, I don't see how you can do much more.
Hey, listen, we do appreciate your stopping by. Congratulations, and let the celebration continue. There's still a lot of work ahead. And I'm not talking about in the cockpit of the Team Penske car. I'm talking about what you and your lovely bride are facing, because there'll be a lot of, shall we say, 2 a.m. feedings. There'll be a lot of things where leading up to it, you're going to, hand over the ice chips, remind your lovely bride, breathe, breathe. It's your life is about to change forever, my friend.
I'm ready for it all. Ready for it all. Good to see you, Jack.